Psalm 60 says this: You have rejected us, God, our God, and defeated us. You have been angry with us, but now turn back to us. You have made the land tremble, and you have cut it open. Now heal its wounds because it's falling apart. You have made your people suffer greatly. We struggle around as though we were drunk. You have warned those who fear you, so that they might escape condemnation. Save us by your might. Answer our prayer, so that the people you love may be rescued. This psalm begins with what appears to be an accusation towards God, the things that he's done, that God's given them some testing times, that God seems to have wounded them, that God somehow seems to have given his people a measure of hurt and discipline. Some of these things clearly are very painful. And then he moves on to this amazing sense of victory, which is quite a contrast. And he goes on to say, from his sanctuary, God has said, in triumph I will divide Shechem and distribute the valley of Succoth to my people. Gilead is mine and Manasseh too. Ephraim is my helmet and Judah my royal scepter. But I will use Moab as my wash basin, and I will throw my sandals on Edom as a sign that I own it. As this psalm progresses, what becomes apparent is that God is interested in his own personal agenda. And in terms of possessing an authority over the nations, it's not just he's marching to our tune, but he's actually asking us to march to his tune. And we're not to set the agenda ourselves. At the end of the psalm, the psalmist says, about, whether God has led them to Edom. Have you really rejected us? Aren't you going to march out with our armies? Help us against the enemy. Human help is worthless. With God on our side, we will win. He will defeat our enemies. But you see, what's important with this is that God's not interested in just serving our particularly personal military strategy. He's not interested in just going along with our thoughts, our plans, our ways, our hopes, our dreams, our personal agenda and our personal direction of travel. But we need to understand what his direction of travel is, what his strategy is, what he's pursuing, which way is he going in the situation, which way is God wanting to move forward. Where there's an advance, it's not about us trying to do it and then trying to pull together human strength and human resources and help in order to get our thing done. What's God's thing? And God's thing is far more important than our thing. And I think that encapsulates what Psalm 60 is trying to get across to us. So we want to pray, Father, that you would help us to fit in with your plans and not wait for you to fit in with ours, but we would be much more aware of what your plans are and work with you and fall into line with where you're going.